Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Oh my God, guys, what a day! Serie A supporting this club Inter. It's not it's a job supporting Inter. It really is a job. It's a tiring job. It's a stressful job. And once again, today is one of those days that explains why it's so hard being an Inter fan. 3 days since Inter lifted the scudetto. 3 days. That's the furthest we could go from drama, and it's official. It's not a rumor. It's not bullshit. Antonio Conte has left Inter by mutual consent. Inter have agreed a 7 million euro, around 7 million euro payout, from what I've read, to terminate the contract. And what a shame. That's that's the first thing that comes to my mind. What a shame to end things like this. 2 years, 2 amazing years under Antonio Conte, over so quickly at the highest point. Just after lifting that 19th scudetto that we were waiting for 10 years or 11 years, and that trophy that we've been waiting for 10 years, and it's all poof, gone already. Such a cruel game, football. Such a cruel game. Any day, any given day, things can change, and it's happened. And as you guys are saying in the comments, code red. The first reaction is panic. You're losing such a great coach. You're losing one of the best coaches around in world football right now, and I'm still shocked. I'm shocked. I wasn't expecting this. I saw the rumors flying around yesterday. They started to gather pace yesterday. Everyone thought it could be like last year. Remember, it was the Villa Bellini. There was the meeting. There was other things, and then in the end, they sorted it out. But this time, Conte was on a press. He wasn't talking to the press the last few matches. If you remember, Stellini's been talking instead of Conte. Conte didn't even talk to the press after the Scudetto win, apart from Inter TV. Stellini talked to the zone, and his words were alluding to, this. They were alluding to a divorce, and I am really sad. I'm really sad that it's ended this way. This is not the way I would have wanted, and I've got someone to come in and talk to me and have a therapy session. Let's talk it out, bro. Let's have this therapy session, bro.
How you doing, my man?
Natale Frangione coming in.
There we go. How you doing?
Talk to me, bro. What's your reaction?
Um,
I'm good. I'm okay, but
I don't know where to start, to be honest. It just honestly, if Antonio Conte would have left last summer, I wouldn't be as surprised as I am now. I'm very I don't understand. Like, I don't know who to blame in the situation, because you can't really blame Antonio Conte for not keeping the team that he built, that he spent 2 seasons with, almost 3 years with, trying to build, bringing in players that he wants, that he desires, that fit his system. He's finally, it's taken us a decade to instill this winning attitude in the players. It's been a decade since Mourinho, and we finally get to the pinnacle of Italian football. We've won the scudetto. We've finally been to a European final. Even though it's the Europa League, it's still an accomplishment. We've making strides each year, and to get to the point, it's kind of like a slap in the face to Antonio Conte. And you can't really blame him, but at the same time, if you have a personal hatred against them, then it's different. But I think the ones you have to blame right now are Suning. You had the chance to sell the club in when were they talking? February, January, March. That whole time, you had the chance to sell the BC Partners. You had the chance to sell to one of the Middle Eastern. I think it was one of the Saudi Arabia. I don't want to butcher or mislead anything, but one of a company out there to
Mubadala.
yeah, to sell, and you didn't take the opportunity because for whatever reasons, maybe like out of selfish, out of like for own personal gain or whatever. Because right now, Sunni's not making a lot of money off of Inter. They're being restricted by the government. There's no revenue coming in from stadiums. I think I was reading something. The Serie A TV rights are the lowest they've been in the last couple of years. Even though you came first, you've got 65 million. I don't know who to blame, but I feel like Suning could have handled this different. Fabrizio Romano saying that we have to sell 80 million. Now that just could be, but he's usually reliable. I don't know. It's kind of a slap to the Inter Tifosi right now. I don't know how to react.
Yeah, I mean, talking of Conte, yeah, I just want to make sure that we at least give him a proper send off. We've had these 2 years with him, a Europa League final. Last year we finished okay. That 1 point behind Juve was kind of fraudulent. You could say whatever, but still lots of improvement from the Spalletti years. Just about making fourth place, improving players like Barella. Players like Darmian, Kolarov. Oh, sorry, not Kolarov. Kolarov didn't improve. Brozovic, Bastoni, Lukaku, Lautaro, Perisic. Turning up as a left wing back. This guy has turned a lot of players.
He turned Eriksen into a defensive midfielder.
Yeah, and obviously this season. Again, the Champions League wasn't great, but that scudetto that we've been waiting for, I can't really ask for much more. When Antonio Conte came in, this is what he was brought in to do, to bring the scudetto back to Inter. It was a 3-year project. He did it in 2 years. I was hoping that he would finish out his contract at least. I thought, a 3-year contract, he's got 1 more year. He's going to get paid a little bit more next year. I thought, he's not going to leave money on the table. He knows the pandemic situation. He knows that we can't spend money left, right, and center, that he would be able to compromise somewhere. But this is Antonio Conte. He always says, unless I have, a chance of winning or, to challenge, especially after winning now, he's not going to step down and accept, just going for a top 4 spot, which you would have to if you have to cut costs. So as you said, I don't blame him. I don't blame Conte personally for making this decision. I feel like he could have maybe been a little bit more understanding maybe of the situation, and maybe try to work with Inter, work with Zhang and the board, and try to see are they really going to sell 80 million? I don't really believe that we're going to sell 80, or we need to make 80 million capital gains after that loan. But I'm just so gutted, man. It doesn't feel right the way it's ended. Almost feels like the Mourinho leaving, on the same night in Madrid.
I was just about to say, but at least Mourinho had, he's gonna go coach Real Madrid. So, but no, I my worry is that we go back into the banter years.
Yeah.
Because remember, Mourinho left. They brought in Rafa Benitez, and then next year Eto'o left. Snyder the year after. Zanetti retired. Maicon left. All the top players are leaving. So that's my fear now, and I feel that I've been talking to some other Inter Tifosi, and you as well, and can whoever they bring in next, it's going to be hard, because right now these players they will literally die for Antonio Conte. Literally die. He's gotten them to the point where they'll die. So whoever they are bringing in, it's going to be huge shoes to fill. And but honestly, I don't know what to compare this to. How do we go from winning the Scudetto to crisis?
It's literally, as Inter fans, you can't have one moment of just peace. We thought, this could be a nice summer of watching other teams like Juventus. We thought there's going to be a rebuild year for them. We're going to be struggling, and Napoli missing out on Champions League. We thought we'll sit back and enjoy the show.
Donnarumma just left Milan, their best player. So
yeah. It's been a crazy day in Serie A in general, as RB Comp says. Juventus, Paratici is gone, there, sporting director, who just left. Or they've announced that he's going to leave at the end of his contract. Gattuso going to Fiorentina. Spalletti apparently is close to Napoli. Donnarumma leaving Milan. What a crazy. Yeah, Maldini announced today, didn't he, that Donnarumma is definitely leaving Milan. So Serie A, man, he always provides you with entertainment. Who says the Premier League is the best league in the world, man?
The drama. It doesn't have that nostalgic drama. No, but I'm really concerned right now because whatever coach that comes in, you know, you have to defend your title as best as you can, but you also have Champions League. Now you have these high expectations now of I don't think the expectations of the upcoming coach that the board of that like the front office of Inter has, the board, is going to line up with the fans, because the fans know, me and you, we're tired of getting out in the group stage. Getting the earful every October, November, December, the earful of, oh, you guys didn't even make it out of the group stage. How are you supposed to be a top club in Europe, or all this? So right now, whatever coach comes in, it's a burden. Read some of these comments; they're hilarious.
Yeah. The crypto brother will be taking his genius crypto project outside of Inter. You know, some people have been saying that the Inter players started this just so they could get paid finally.
So, who do you think is going to leave in your if you had to sell one player?
Well, it has to be one of the guys that, you know, the ones that we would make a capital gain on. You know, like, it doesn't make sense. You know, people are saying, or the papers are saying, like Lukaku or Hakimi, but those guys, because the way the financials work, we wouldn't make much profit, like capital gain out of them.
No.
So it would have to be the players that have been here for a while, like, you know, the Brozovic, who, you know, he's been here for like 6-7 years. So his cost in our finances is almost all absorbed. So if we sell him, it would be almost pure profit. De Vrij, because he was a free transfer, so on the books his value is actually very low, so you would sell him, it would be almost pure profit. It doesn't make sense to sell the likes of Lukaku or Hakimi, maybe Lautaro, because he's been here for a couple of years, and his value has definitely increased a lot.
Barella, we got some payments still to Cagliari, right?
Yeah. No, Barella's off the books. Barella's I don't care if he was
Bastoni untouchable. You can't.
Yeah, Barella, Bastoni, the two Italian bees, they're untouchable. Brozovic, I'm a Brozovic fan, but I feel like, you know, if there is one guy to sacrifice in this team, it would be Brozovic.
I would say Eriksen, but his market value is not. You won't make a profit, especially in this climate.
Yeah, so we paid around 20-25 million for him. Only been 1 year, 1.5 years. I'm not sure what his residual value is, but yeah, his wages are very hefty though, so you would make a lot of savings on the wages side. So Eriksen is definitely probably one of the top options, I would say. But in this market, I just don't see like who's gonna buy these players. That's the issue. Like, people are saying Ronaldo's gonna leave Juventus, but who's gonna pay Ronaldo? Who's gonna pay Juventus for Ronaldo to leave? Like, who? Like, I don't see it.
And the way I look at it, another way you could look at it is, Conte was technically our highest earner on the wage bill.
He was not technically. He was by a long margin.
So maybe because from what I'm reading right now, they say that they asked him to cut 10 to 20%. He's still our highest earner. So maybe getting him off the books and bringing in a cheaper coach like Inzaghi or whoever, maybe you won't have to. You could come with a compromise here. You won't have to sell a Lukaku or Lautaro or whoever, just a big name player to balance the books. So maybe that could be a reason why, you know, Sunin said this and that, and why they cut ties together, possibly.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like most people are willing to sell Lautaro. I thought Lautaro turned the corner with Inter fans, but it seems like Inter fans are still not convinced.
Gotta go. Hey, have you talked about Sensi's injury, his injuries yet? Because they haven't improved at all.
I mean, how many more times can we talk about? Can we talk about his glass knees, man? His glass muscles.
I think he's got to go. He's one of the names you got to go.
Yeah, but the issue with Sensi is, again, like, he has low wages, and because we bought him just last summer, we redeemed him last summer for around 25 million. I don't see anyone paying around that much for Sensi. So even if we do sell him, it doesn't move the needle in Sensi. It has to be one of the high earners like Eriksen, or, you know, the other guys, or it has to be the guys with low value on the books. I know, you know, at the end of the day, like the likes of Vidal, Kolarov, you know, these guys are going to leave. Kolarov is definitely gone. Ashley Young is gone, so those wages are off the book. But the Vidal's 6 million net salary, that definitely has to come off now. We'll see what they do with the Ranocchia. I think they've asked him to take a pay cut if he wants to renew his contract.
I know that Brozio is probably not going to come back, but I don't know. I think Perisic. I think so. The way I look at Perisic, you either sell him, if you get 8 million off of him, I'll get rid of him. As a 32-year-old, maybe send him to back to the German league or to a club in the Prem who wants to win right away, possibly. Just if you get 8 to 10 million, you get his wages off because he's a high earner, and he still has a bit of talent, so maybe he could be a possibility. But you're absolutely right. Vidal, he's got to go. All the geezers, all the old people on the team.
Some people, there's a lot of conflicting. Everyone's got conflicting opinions. But let's move on to actually okay. So Conte's gone now. I'm heartbroken, but we have to move on.
Move on.
Musab says if Mourinho only waited a little bit, Mourinho's seething inside. He's like, damn.
Yeah, I missed out. And I think we can't even go into hypotheticals about Mourinho. It's too late. I would say he'd fit perfect into the squad. But
Allegri is for the reported number one target for the Inter board. And even when last year was rumored that Conte might leave, Allegri was number one. I'm in favor of Allegri. I think he's shown at Juve that he can pick up the pieces when Conte leaves. He's a adaptable manager.
Yeah,
he's a proven winner.
Yep.
He's cheaper than Conte. Well, everyone's cheaper than Conte, but he's cheaper than Conte, definitely. He's ready to go. Like, he's been waiting in the sidelines. He's hungry. He doesn't have those club allegiances because he wasn't like a Juve or Milan legend, like Conte. So he's not got those types of ties. I would go all in for Allegri, but the rumors are saying he's talking with Juventus, Real Madrid, and as RB Comsa asks, I struggle to see why Allegri would, if Real Madrid are in for you. Right. I don't think anyone would choose Inter over Real Madrid.
The only way I could see him, actually, you can't even say him ducking Real Madrid, but the only way I could see him possibly, because he'll be the first ever coach to win the scudetto at Milan, Juve, and Inter, the three biggest clubs in Italy. That's the only possible reason for him coming to Inter and somehow ducking. But guys, let's be honest. If you were a coach, your dream's probably to coach Real Madrid.
You're a player, you're a coach. Real Madrid is. We can't deny it. It's the top, is the creme de la creme.
Yeah, you're right.
It's everyone is in the Allegri. Everyone's in the Allegri camp. For me, he's the number one choice. If we can try to convince Allegri, it would almost be a sideways step to me, not even like a down step to me.
I think it'd be an upgrade. Honestly, he's been to 2 Champions League finals in 3-4 years at Juve. He's won 5, 6, 7, 8 Serie A in a row. He knows how to manage. He knows he's a great player manager. I've never once heard a player fall out with him, or have had there's a bit of Dybala here and there, but besides that, what other players have fallen out with him? He doesn't. He's a coach that adapts to the team. I remember when he took over Juve, he first ran the 4-3-1-2, and then he went back to the 3-5-2. Then to the 4-2-3-1, then to a 4-3-3. He knows how to adapt his team, and he doesn't. I don't think he's a big complainer about players either. I think he takes what's given to him and he makes it work out. So that's why, honestly, I think it'd be an upgrade. He knows how to get it done in Europe. He knows how to get it done in Italy, and I think he'd be perfect for Inter.
Yeah, no, he would be, honestly. Yeah, you might, especially European pedigree wise, is definitely an upgrade. We know Conte. That was the one sticking point we have with Conte, the Champions League failures, and even before Inter has always been his issue. But with Allegri, he's shown, even with the Milan team back in the early 2010s, he was decent in Europe, or at least used to be out the group stage at least.
Yeah. No, you're right. I think he'd be a perfect pick. I see in the comments Arsene Wenger.
Hey man, isn't he like working for FIFA now? That guy's like retired.
Who else? Yeah, I think
everyone is pretty much in favor for Allegri. But as we said, with Allegri, as Albicom said, he's getting closer according to all the rumors. You know, Paratici is gone. Paratici, I think, was the one of the main reasons why he left Juve. I think there was a conflict of interest of like ideas there. Now he's gone, so he's going to start afresh.
Yeah.
So if it's not Allegri, then who is your number 2 choice?
Okay, so unpersonal opinion, no bias here. The smart decision to be would be in Simone Inzaghi. I know I texted you before saying I'm not buying Inzaghi, but you brought up some great points. You know, he's done. He went to the round of 16 with, to be honest, that's not a good Lazio team. He's playing, he's playing makeshift center backs. You know,
Bro, he plays like Parolo, you know, guys that shouldn't even be playing centre back. He had to play. He had Musacchio,
yeah,
you know, the Milan flop coming in as a January backup or like reinforcement.
I think he'd be the logical choice if you can't get Allegri. Conte, I don't want to butcher his name. Conceição would be great, but I don't think he's leaving Porto. Simone, he would be the right choice. You know, you could go Sarri, but Sarri, this team's not built for Sarri.
No.
We don't have. That would take like years to develop. Fonseca, Fonseca's an attack-minded team. We don't really have attack-minded players. We have a not park the bus team, but a defensively solidified system. We have a team that's built on defense into counter transition, and whose team in Serie A is built on counter transition, and that's Lazio. That's Simone Inzaghi. So he'd probably be the logical choice. He's also probably the cheapest choice as well. My only issue is if you bring in Inzaghi, how do the players react to a manager who's not as high as caliber as Antonio Conte? Because Inzaghi hasn't really won anything or hasn't achieved lots. So that's my only question. But Inzaghi would be the smart choice. That's really it. Him or Allegri. Or Mihalovic.
Well, let's cut the Mihailovic talk right here. Mihailovic is a big no for me. I know he's a former Inter player and whatever. Like, no, come on, guys. Let's be real. There's levels to the game, and Mihailovic is not. No, I like him as a person. You know, I wish the best to him. You know, he recovered from leukemia and everything. You know, fighter, great guy, but he's got drip as well. I've seen him wear those off-white
Jordans. You wouldn't like to see that at Inter on the touchline. Those black
as an assistant.
Yeah, as an assistant.
But Diego Simeone obviously would be up there, but the guy earns like 40 million gross wages at Atletico. He's not leaving. He's not leaving Atletico. We can't afford those wages. Even if he takes a pay cut, we can't afford those wages.
Zidane's not coming to Inter. There's no way.
Zidane, he doesn't strike me as like a serious coach. Like, he just seems like, you know, he doesn't need to be coaching. He just says, I feel like it. But yeah, I'm with you. I think Simone Inzaghi is the one that makes the most sense to me. He plays 3-5-2, so there's no adaptation needed to the system. Similar playing style, as you said, counter-attacking, kind of, you know, solid defensively and try to counter press the team. He can get the best out of, you know, some players that we've seen over the years. You know, Milinkovic-Savic has always been a talented player, but he's definitely stepped up under Inzaghi. Luis Alberto was never this good before.
Immobile,
you know, has become a golden boot winner under him. Acerbi was never this good as a defender. You know, Lucas Leiva was, you know, okay player at Liverpool, and he became quite good here.
Yeah.
He's maybe not as good as getting, you know, the best out of average players. Like, you know how Conte can get Darmian, D'Ambrosio, these types of players to like ball out.
Yeah. So I think
sorry, now your internet's kind of like choppy.
Oh, I apologize. The school Wi-Fi. No, you're absolutely right. I'll like now. I wonder how this affects the transfer window now. You know, who we bring in and stuff. That would be a huge implications.
Yeah, that's the first thing they need to sort out, and apparently Marotta is going to try to sort it out within the next 2 days. Is getting a manager before the end of the week, which is the most important thing. And then then we can move forward. If we get Inzaghi, then that you can keep the similar sort of system and try to get similar players. But if we go, somewhere in a completely different direction, go with a guy like that plays a different style of football, different different idea, different ideology, then we have to then the transfer market is going to look different. But I hope we go with someone similar like Inzaghi, because Allegri, Inzaghi, they would do good with this type of.
And I also think if I'm Sunin to do some damage control, I'm doing the best I possibly can to keep this core of players together. Now, Eric, keep this core of players together. Get rid of the old guys. Get Ashley Young. He did his service. Vidal, he didn't do a service, but he was there. Get them off the books. Kolarov gone. D'Ambrosio, I've always loved him. He's been a gadget kind of player. Plug him into different positions. I think it's time to go. Maybe keep it on Nokia just for guidance. Bring in, just these cheap. I would love to see Lucien Agume back. I'd love to see Pirola back. I'd love to see, Di Marco back. Bringing these players. I think that was the original plan with Conte until they.
Well, that's the thing with Conte. You're never gonna have that type of project. That's why he was kicking up a fuss last year. He was, he wanted the Vidals, the Kolarovs. He wanted that.
Yeah.
He didn't want the Tonalis, the young, players. He said, if to win, I need these guys. And I was happy with Conte. You just have to give him what he wants to make it happen.
Yeah.
But here I was, this year I was hoping that maybe he could take a step back and understand that, okay, maybe we could take back Di Marco, take back Agume, Pirola on loan to Monza, Van Hoysden. They say they might be come back. These younger players that you.
Very good. Van Hoysden's very good.
Exactly, but he's just not that type of coach. He's not a project or bringing youth through type coach. If you wanna do that, you need to bring in a different. You have to decide. Do you want to win? Then you bring in Conte and you give him the experience. If you want to go the youth and developing, then you have to find other ways. But Inzaghi, talking about that, Inzaghi is not really that type of guy either.
No,
Lazio, I think, are one of the highest average age teams in the league, and I always see Jerry Mancini moaning about how he never gives the youth a chance at Lazio.
No, you're absolutely right. There's really,
at the end of the day.
No. I was gonna say.
No, don't worry.
Allegri, he's brought in. He brought in Moise Kean when he was younger. Now Moise Kean's a generational talent, obviously. Maybe Allegri could bring in some youth players, but he's also not known for that. So, it's kind of there's both managers that you're looking for. They're not really long-term, projects. They're more win now, win in the next couple of years, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, man, it's well, I'm still under shock, to be honest. I don't Lazaro comeback season. Yeah, we've got a lot of players coming back from loan who might be, reevaluated. I guess they could be think that they, some of the players that we thought are dead and out could be coming back, depending on who comes in. But it just depends on who we go in. Okay, so we've got Allegri, Inzaghi, but let's say we also rumored that Inzaghi's had talks with Lazio and he might stay at Lazio because he just likes Lazio and he's happy there. Who's a possible third option for you after that?
Honestly, there's not. The thing is, there's not a big list either. Of coaches that could coach in Serie A. There's not a lot of depth there. Obviously, there's Sarri, but he's not going to. That's not an option. There's Fonseca. He runs this 3-4-2-1, but I don't think he's ready for that role. I think he has to go to a mid-table club.
Mm-hmm. I like Fonseca.
I do too. I love the way he plays. He's defensively, he's very vulnerable. His tactics.
Oh yeah, he's I like him as a coach, but yeah, I don't see him at Inter. You need a strong character at Inter, as Conte showed. Like even Spalletti to a certain extent showed that you have to be strong. Like how the media is when you're at Inter. You have to be very strong and be able to take criticism.
Mentally tough. Honestly, I'd love to see. Listen, this is just a stupid opinion, but like Spalletti, bringing him back.
Hey man, if you follow me on Twitter, I love Spalletti. I'm a Spalletti stan, but as I said with Mihailovic, there's levels to the game. There's levels to the game, and
I know, just joking around, but honestly, there's no really. Who do you go get? Frank Lampard? Like, no, there's listen. Honestly, if there was a time to get rid of a coach or to part ways with a coach, this is probably the worst time ever to get rid of a coach.
Yeah, that's the issue. The timing of all this is very unfortunate. It's just this is the time when you should be just consolidating and just keeping everything. Like I wasn't expecting. I was saying already in my videos, the last few videos, that I was telling people not to expect much from this summer, and people were telling me, "No, don't worry, you'll be fine. We're gonna get Donnarumma on a free." I was like, "No, chill out. I don't think you understand the situation." People are talking about Nuno Espirito Santo, the guy who's just left Wolverhampton.
Wolves. He runs a 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3 kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't. He had success. He's not good enough, but he took his team deep into the Europa League. He brought up Wolves from the Championship. He's a project kind of manager. Now, he's dealt with young players. He hasn't really dealt with a lot of experienced players, and right now, players ready to win. He's brought up all his Portuguese youth players. He's brought them up, brought up all the young players at Wolves. Right now, Inter are not in that position. You got to win now if you're Inter. And I just little coach. He went to he's going to Nice. He signed with Nice, so he's not an option. They're just looking at the comments, but there's really no good possible options right now. Unless
well, someone said that Inzaghi said that he left the meeting with Lotito laughing, so it doesn't sounds like he might be staying at Lazio, and Lazio don't do discounts. If Inzaghi comes, he'll add an extra tax. Actually, Lotito will make us pay even more for his players, so you can forget.
Instead of 100 million for Milinkovic-Savic, it's going to be 150.
Yeah, Gerard, it's not as easy as saying, you should sell to the Leeds owner. Someone they need to come to us to buy. We don't go to people to offer insert.
I don't think people understand when you sell someone, you have debt. Inter has an enormous amount of debt, and Alex Donald told me this. If you're a possible investor or buyer, you're going to take on this enormous amount of debt. Yeah. And I don't think as a company, I think that's maybe what. I don't know about the deal with BC Partners or the other investment firms or whatever. I think that's what maybe put them away. And if you're a very wealthy person, I don't think you want to take on a lot of debt, especially in this, economic climate of COVID and all that. So
yeah, there was a difference in valuations. I think Suning valued Inter around 800, 900 million, I think, including the debt, whereas I think BC Partners said around 700. So there was a bit of a difference there, but. Yeah, if it does seem like if it was going to come down to this, you might as well have cut your losses and sold, and now we've taken on this loan, but this loan that we've taken on is the collateral is the shares into Inter. So if Suning aren't able to pay back this 270 million loan, Oak Tree will take control of Inter, like Elliott AC Milan. This is how they took control of AC Milan.
Yeah, exactly.
The Chinese owners of AC Milan took a loan with Elliott, couldn't pay it back, and Elliott took over. And they're a venture capitalist investment firm that you see what they're trying to do. That's just football now. You don't really have the oil money in football anymore. It's not as attractive anymore, especially right now.
Exactly. There's no Juric. I think Juric is going to Torino.
Yeah, Juric is pretty much confirmed to Torino, I believe.
Juric, honestly, okay. If you're at a last point, maybe because he's more of a defensively tactician, solid defensively, but Italiano is more of a free-flowing, 4-3-3, move ball around possession, build up, fast play. He won't fit the system. I think people like fans, Inter, we got to understand that we have to accept that with the players we got, yet a coach has to be a certain way.
Yeah.
So, bringing in like a Sadi or something, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't be, or bringing in a free flowing coach, it wouldn't work.
Yeah, but then you have to give him the players. Sarri, who was he going to play? You have to then you have to be realistic with the fans. The board has to come out and say like, okay, we're not going for the scudetto anymore now. We're just going for top four. Like I think that's one of the things Conte, from what I read, what Conte wanted, Marotta or Steven Zhang to say in public that okay, we're cutting costs, but that means that we're not going for titles and things. I think Conte wanted, because you know how Conte is. He doesn't he doesn't like to be in the firing line and accept being second place. So he wants wants Steven Zhang to say like, okay, this Conte's target is not to win this year, but and it seems like they didn't do that.
Yeah, no, that's the thing about Conte. He's the one to praise when he wins something, but he's not the one to blame when he loses something.
Yeah.
But hey,
Juric is definitely a very fiery character as well. Character-wise, he could fit in at Inter. We saw his last interview before he left Verona.
He also used to be an assistant at Inter, right? He used to be.
He was. Yeah. With the very short time. I think he was with Gasperini.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to go for a project, like if you're gonna go, completely the opposite side, then you could even go try and get the Gasperini way again, even though he speaks with the venom every time he talks about Inter. But
no, there's not a lot of ideas, Sharma. There's not a lot of.
I mean, we've done this broadcast kind of fresh. Like we're not even really thought about possible targets or who we want. This is really just fresh at the moment. We're reacting to you guys' comments. But one comment I do want to address, where it's why I don't think we need to panic right now. The thing is, we've still got Beppe Marotta in charge, a experienced, very calm-headed individual at the helm of our board. Pier Ausilio is still there. Lele Oriali is still there. We still got these very experienced, calm heads around that have made big decisions in the past, that they've been through these situations, and I have trust in these types of people. And this is one of the best decisions Suning made. When we signed Marotta, he's got only 1 year left on his contract, Marotta, which I hope he stays longer. But yeah, at least he's still here for another year, which is good. So I wouldn't panic for the moment. I would stay calm. It's not an ideal situation. This is not what I wanted, but I keep faith in the likes of Marotta, Oriali, Ausilio to do the right thing.
Yeah. There's this is all it's all fresh right now. That we obviously don't know how to react. There's a big question mark though, obviously coming up. We can't deny that there's so it's Allegri or bust. Allegri or Inzaghi or bust.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's Allegri, which is the top, and then you go Inzaghi, and then afterwards, I'm not really sure. I haven't thought about it. There might be someone out there that I haven't thought about right now, but for me right now, that's my preference.
I would like maybe Gattuso, but Gattuso's already Fiorentina. That ship sailed.
Yeah, I saw some people were saying Cambiaso, but Cambiaso again, that would be like almost doing the Pirlo route,
that'd be a rough
experience. He's just been, he's only spent his time in the Sky Sports studios talking about football rather than coaching.
Mancini out of Italy. I'd love that.
I'm not sure he left us the second time round, so I'm not sure he would be willing to come back.
Yeah, no, there's not a lot.
No, and there's not much out there. It's a difficult market out there.
Also, these players, it's not like these players are still. You know what? That's actually a good comment.
Hey, mine's got 100% win ratio.
No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, you're right.
We've lost. Sorry, bro. Your internet is like really lagging. I'm gonna have to take you out because it just is not coming through your voice anymore on mine.
Can you hear me now?
No, can't hear you.
All right, no worries then.
All right. Sorry about that, man. Sorry, guys. We couldn't get the Nat's internet from his college or university internet. Couldn't quite connect in. I couldn't hear him. Yeah, let's just continue for a few more minutes. Some of you saying Stankovic. Yeah, Stankovic is honestly. I wouldn't be surprised in the future. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up at Inter, but it might be too soon for Stankovic. I think he needs a little, from going from the Serbian league. I think he needs a little middle ground. Let me try to bring you back in now. Can you try to speak now, bro?
Am I good?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. Sorry about that. No, yeah. I heard this Stankovic. I don't think he's ready yet. He did do a good job though. He was at Red Star, and he almost knocked me last. Yeah, so possibly, but I think he needs to get into a more competitive league first.
Yeah, I think there needs to be Benevento coach. He's the other Inzaghi. It's funny how life works. People was the infinitely superior player when he was a player, but as a coach, Simone is much better. Yeah, Idris Conceição. Yeah, he's suited for a 4-4-2. Again, he could be an option. Former Inter player. I think he speaks Italian. He played at Lazio as well. Could be an option, but yeah, again, like I think that we'd have to rethink the squad then if he's going to come in and play 4-4-2. But you never know. These managers can adapt. They're not married to a certain formation. It doesn't mean that just because he plays 4-4-2 at Porto, he's going to play 4-4-2 forever.
I'm also still. I'm very curious to see how Conte brought in Hakimi, and Hakimi in a multitude of interviews has always said, one of the biggest reasons why I'm at Inter is because of Conte. Now, when Conte leaves, this is also one of my biggest fears. I think Lukaku is probably more likely to stay because Lukaku, I think, has a genuine love for Inter. Like he genuinely loves the club. In the last game of Udinese, when Hakimi scored, he pointed at the badge and did the "I'm staying here now." But Conte's leaving. And Hakimi was Conte was one of the main reasons why Hakimi came to Inter. So I'm a bit worried about that.
Yeah, but again, that depends on the coach who comes in, right? Like, yeah, Lukaku definitely. If it wasn't for Conte, he wouldn't be at Inter. But as you said, the way that the way he talked about his Premier League experience, he kind of says like it's kind of. I think he's done that now. He's happy that it was his dream to play for Chelsea. I think when he was a youngster, and he's done that. So I think he's done with the Premier League after the Man United experience. So I could see Lukaku staying, but again, it depends on the manager who comes in. It has to be someone we've seen under United. It needs someone that stimulates Lukaku in the right way, that keeps him in that tip-top physical shape. One thing that we also need to talk about is Pintus. The backroom staff that Conte had was also top class. Antonio Pintus, we've seen the effects of his fitness training. This team runs more than any other team in Italy, and injuries wise, we've been lucky, but also Dave, this backroom staff clearly is doing some good work at the background, and we're going to lose that because Pintus, he follows Conte usually, apart from the Real Madrid period. I think he goes with Conte most of the places, so we're going to lose him as well.
We'll also lose Lele Oriali. I think he'll leave. I know he wasn't biggest impact, but he's still that guy mentoring players and stuff and keeping the team.
I don't know. Oriali is he's Inter through and through. I think he's the national for the Italian national team. He's also the team manager there. So I think Oriali would. I don't think he's tied to Conte in such a way.
Yeah, he was. You're right. He was with there when Mourinho was there as well.
Yeah. He's been an Inter throughout like his career here and there. Like he's an Inter guy through and through.
That's like cool. Shout out to this boy. He just won with Sao Paulo, so shout out to him.
Do I have trust in the Suning project? As I said, as the Suning project for me is like it depends on who we have as the leaders. If you've got, as long as we keep Beppe Marotta or a top quality CEO, sporting director, and all those types of things, I have faith in the Suning project. Just because. Okay, we've won the Scudetto this year, but just because if we don't go for the Scudetto next year, I don't think I'm not going to cry about that. Like, you have to be realistic. if we're gonna go for top 4 next year, I'm not gonna lose sleep over that. But as long as that's the short term deviation of the plan, going from obviously we're talking about getting that second star on the badge and going for number 20, but as long as this is just through this pandemic period, and maybe when the fans return to the stadium, the revenues go back up, I'm willing to give Suning a little bit of time to go through this period. But yeah, it depends on Marotta and the directors that are staying. That's where I judge the Suning project. What about you, Nat?
No, I agree with you. As long as you have your head, your top guys, Marotta, Ozilio, and I don't think people also know Ozilio's been there through the banter years, through the dark ages. He was there when Icardi was all there. He's brought in. I think he knows how to manage these situations. And same thing with Marotta. He brought Juve back from the depths along with Conte. So you're absolutely right. But now my only issue is they're on the last years of their contract, and they could say, hypothetically, they could say, you know what, we just wait out the year. We do the least we could possibly, or just the bare minimum. We do our job. We don't have to go above and beyond, and we just wait out here. And then I go seek a better job, or or make a return to Juve or whatever. Just hypothetically speaking, that could be a possibility. But hopefully that's not the situation, and we could follow what Marotta says and Ozilio, and just hopefully. It's still a shock. I'm kind of upset at Suning right now. They brought us back, kind of shooting us in the back, stabbing us in the back. Yeah, yeah, exactly. The dagger.
Yeah. Where do you think Conte is going, by the way? He seems like because the Real Madrid job is available, or seems like it's available, I feel like he's going to go for that, because he said in the past that he was offered that and he rejected it. I reckon he's going to Madrid.
Honestly, unless you want to go to Tottenham, I don't think he's going to the Prem. And I agree with you. I think he's going to Real Madrid. Who would turn down the Real Madrid job twice? Like who would? And I think they're also, Madrid's going to have a way bigger budget than Inter is, and I think he also, he has some good players to build with. They just brought in a left-footed player, Alaba. They've brought in, they still have Varane. I don't know what's going on with Ramos' contract, but there's still quality there. Thibaut Courtois, his goalie's still there. He hopefully could rehabilitate Hazard. So I definitely think he could go for the Real Madrid job if Zidane leaves.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is this is a hypothetical. If we go to the back two, I don't know. Like you might have to move. You can't move any of those three out. You might have to move Bastoni to left back. You might just to keep Bastoni there, to keep making that hybrid.
Exactly. Well, I think if I was a coach, you play 4 at the back, Bastoni left back, Skriniar left center back, Di Vrij right back, and then Hakimi, and then basically goes to a 3 at the back because Hakimi will just push up all the time. So
exactly. Yeah, because I don't want to leave any of those guys out.
I honestly, and a lot of teams are looking for center backs. I don't think as fans we have honestly probably a top 5 defense in Europe right now. We are so grateful to have 3. I'm not gonna say Bastoni's world class yet, but I think Di Vrij is world class. I think Skriniar is world class. To have 3 top defenders in this climate, teams are looking for defenders left and right. I don't think you could sell that. I don't think you get rid of that core.
No. Some people are still getting used to the news. Yeah, bro, he actually has left. Like it's not rumors. He's actually left, bro. Ahmad, there's nothing confirmed in terms of who we're signing or not, but all I'm saying is keep your expectations low when it comes to incomings this summer. That's all I'm saying to you. So you won't be disappointed.
No Rodrigo Di Paul, no Juan Musso, we have Handanovic,
no Filip Kostic, no Gosens.
Yeah, no nothing.
Well, I don't know about nothing, but I would just keep the expectations. I would just keep the expectations low. Anything above that, I'll be happy at this point.
Yeah, yeah, so it's a crazy day. Conte's.
Hey man, I don't know. I don't know about that. You know, Mourinho was there. He played like a counter-attacking style. You know, I don't see Zidane particularly playing swashbuckling football the last season or so. I think Real Madrid, at the end of the day, the only thing they care about is winning, and
Yeah.
and if they're not happy with the style, even if you win, they'll fire you anyway.
I just want to say this about fans that complain about, beautiful football and all that. I think as a fan, your number one goal is to win. You want your team to win. Like, who cares if they play boring football? For instance, look at Juve. Juve sacked Allegri. Juve sacked Allegri because they play boring football. Look what happened. The last 2 years, you struggled in Europe, and you almost got kicked out of the Champions League. So for fans that say that they hate, winning by all cost football, I think you should rethink what you want as a fan, and if you want to keep supporting that team, because I think Conte's a winner. He's literally a serial winner. Everywhere he's been, he's won. So,
Yeah, man. Someone's asking about the where does Milan get their funds? The thing is with Milan, their revenues are lower than ours, but they're set up since Elliot have come in. They've been set up financially a lot better. They have lower debt than us. Their cost of wages is a lot lower than us. They're just in a slightly better financial situation compared to us, and they've made Champions League all this year. So and a lot of their signings were actually loans that they needed to turn into permanent signings. So they just delayed their signing. So it was just a small way to do things. So I'm not expecting much from Milan this summer either. So don't look too much into what Milan are doing, because a lot of their signings will be just confirming the signings they made last year.
Exactly. No. I think they're also Elliot, the way that they have a lot of money. They have a lot of assets to spend too. So, they are better financially set up than we are.
Yeah, I agree with Mosabe. Terror football is an art form for me. Yeah, if you're an Inter fan, our history: Helenio, Herrera, Trapattoni, Mourinho, Mancini. When we win, we've not played great football. So that's not a priority for Inter fans, playing beautiful. And beautiful is just a subjective thing anyway.
Yeah, honestly, I agree. If you look at the Italian national team, like, we didn't win, playing beautiful football. We won because we used what we had to our advantage, and that was defending. And if you look at other teams too, Mourinho's treble team, he calls it the best defensive block team he's ever had. So we're used to that.
Exactly. But yeah, Nat, man, thank you for coming on this hot, fresh off the press little live stream. We were both still in shock. We're both not really sure what's going on. We've just kind of talked to you guys and reacted to your comments. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, because wow, I'm still in shock, man. Once I come off this stream, I'm gonna be still sat in my room just like thinking over this.
Glued to Twitter.
Yeah. refreshing the Twitter feed.
Yeah. So no, I thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure. I know the last couple of times, I couldn't make it, and I felt genuinely bad, but I'm really happy to be on your show today. Thank you very much for having me. Under these circumstances, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. No, we'll get you on again, man. What's your Twitter at if people want to follow you on Twitter?
I don't do much. I'm not a writer or anything. It's just trying to graduate school, but it's at Frangioni Natale. So
let me just type it into the.
How do I?
Don't worry, I'll put it into the thing, into the comment. Yeah, follow Nat. Good Inter fan. Always good, good ideas, good takes. Yeah, we'll keep an eye out for the channel, guys. I'm going to be updating on the situation, because it is going to be a hot developing situation. We're gonna keep getting news on the next manager for sure in the next few days, if not in the next hours, and obviously transfer related news throughout the summer. So keep a lookout. I'm definitely back on my content creation bag on the train, so keep a lookout on the channel. If you hear this, there's 38 people here. Make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. And guys, Conte or no Conte, Inzaghi or no Inzaghi, it's always Forza Inter.
Sempre. Ciao, guys.
Ciao.